Do women admit that they're wrong?
Hell no. Oh, sorry. I jumped the gun. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no as well. It's fellas. Not everybody, but as a majority, I'm gonna say no. Go ahead.
Fellas.
I want to hear your thoughts. You seem very enthusiastic about your
All
answer.
I do is look at the fellas.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
All right.
Tired of you.
First question is, ladies,
okay.
If you could meet the man of your dreams, would you? If you had to make the first move. That means you approach, you ask out, and you pay. Yes or no?
Damn.
So I would say yes. What say you? I didn't know how to really fit this question for you.
Alright. So, yeah, I don't know either.
Do you think
woman of my dreams?
If it's the woman of your dreams, do you think women should? Yeah. Yes or no?
Yes. I think so.
All right. So the reasons why I said yes is that yes, I would approach, yes, I would ask out, and yes, I would pay.
Okay.
Because I'm queer. So I've already questioned all of this. Like, there is nothing about a man's genitalia, gender identity, nor hormones that requires him to approach me, ask me out, and pay for the first date. I'm just saying.
That's facts.
So if it's between me and the man of my dreams, which I want but don't need, yeah, cause it's for me, it's not about questioning whether or not he can or like why isn't he. It's I want to go on a date with him, so I'm going to approach him because I'm intrigued. I'm going to ask him out because I want to go on a date. I'm going to pay because I asked him out on a date. Same as I would a woman or anybody else. So, again, back to our previous segment. Challenge these gender roles.
Yeah.
Like, you want so much change. But it's like, what work are you doing?
You gotta put in the work for the change that you want, always.
But why'd you say yes?
I say yes because, it's something we discussed on another podcast. Like, ladies, you choose.
You decide your own pain.
And we were talking about approaching, approaching men and all that. So
that's true.
I think it goes to those same principles that we discussed, where it's like, no matter your gender, if you're somebody who wants to be the captain of their own destiny, so to speak, when it comes to the relationships, if you want to actually construct and then co-construct with somebody else, you have to be somebody willing to put yourself out there and approach someone. And that also goes for the whole paying and everything else like that. It should be something that you're at least willing to do. Like, I as a man have never said I will never pay for a woman. That's never even come across my mind, because it's like, yeah, sure, of course I would want to treat a person like that. I would want to treat a friend like that. I've just, in the past, never had no financial means to do that abundantly. So therefore, when I did go on a date, or if I did ask a young lady out, it was specific, and I was either honest about what I could do, or made sure that I set aside whatever I could in order to do.
Or set up dates that don't cost you.
That's my really go-to. Yeah. I'm the king of walks, because if I can walk with you, that's
talk with you.
That is majority of the time I want to spend with you anyway, and then the rest is more physical intimacy and other stuff. But that's a different episode, I think.
Yeah, so I definitely would recommend you all, our listeners, checking out that episode because you did go in depth about women approaching men and just how that is taking an active role in your life and choosing who you're allowing into your life.
It's so powerful to be on the side of someone who's actually creating the opportunity for the one who you could potentially be with and share a genuine, great connection with. But a lot of people don't, out of fear, out of those gender norms that we discussed. Check out the other episode, like Rocky was saying. And
ladies, you decide your own pain.
Yeah. We'll break down a little bit more there.
Yeah.
So what's next?
All right, the next question is, and this goes into, it's playing on making you choose, playing on the question that we had in our two sides segment. Would you rather your man be honest with you and you provide him with the emotional safety, or get your feelings off? So I'm gonna choose, I would rather my man be honest with me and I provide him with emotional safety. What say you?
I'm gonna agree with that.
Alrighty. The reason I said that choice is because a lot of what we were saying in the two sides of the same coin segment is that, I want, like, when you told me you didn't feel heard, like, that hurt. Because it's like, I'm not doing something to make you feel heard. Like, I'm not providing that space for you. And because you're my partner, like, I want you to feel heard just like I want to feel heard. So why wouldn't I provide that space? And I was choosing to get my feelings off. And I really had to recognize my ego in that, my selfishness in that. And to, like, again, what would be the purpose of getting my feelings off? Because I come to an understanding with my own emotional growth, and I will say this is key. Women culturally have been known for our emotional expression, have been given space to do that, sometimes not always in male spaces, but it's normal for women to express their emotions, whereas men, it's not, so to speak. But in that space, we aren't taught emotional growth. We aren't taught emotional management. And that's what I have been learning. So it's like, I can process my feelings, I can feel my feelings, I can understand my feelings, and then I can come to you calmly and communicate my needs, my boundaries, any expectations that came up for me. Like, actually have a conversation. And it's like, so getting my feelings off wasn't helpful to our relationship nor to either one of us, and that's on me. That's accountability on me. It's accountability on the woman or the person not providing the space, because and I totally understand it when it comes to parenting. Like, if you want your kids to come to you, to be vulnerable with you, talk to you about what's going on in your life,
difficult things.
Exactly. You cannot pop off.
Right.
As much as you have every right to be mad sometimes, your feelings are valid, but you popping off, you attacking them, you shaming them, you judging them is not going to make them continue coming back to you to talk. They just gonna shut down and not tell you anything.
There you go.
And I understand it completely in that sense, but suddenly in romantic relationships, something goes awry. I'm just saying. What say you?
Well, I obviously think that you should create that space. I too understand the reason for popping off or like getting your feelings off and expressing yourself. Ladies, I get all that. You're frustrated.
Valid.
Right. I'm not saying that frustration is not valid and it doesn't come from a genuine place. But again, if we're looking at what we want the goal to be, if we're looking at getting that championship as partners, as teammates, then we need to boss up and put our egos aside. We need to be the ones that are able to collaborate and discuss conflicts within our partnership. How can we level up as a couple if we can't discuss conflict? If all that happens when we have conflict is I get chewed out, how would that make us better? It just wouldn't. So
it wouldn't. And I think, it's bringing in this armor and this defensiveness, and it's ready for the other person to not care about you, to not put their partner first. And it's like you're so worried about that like you're not doing the same for them. Like what you want for them to do to you, you're not doing for them, because you're so on the defense of them not doing it for you. And it's like you both want to be looking out for each other, understanding each other, and making sure that each other is heard, boundaries are respected. Like you're respecting each other and growing in your love, while also making sure that you're staying true to your own feelings and your own stuff, and you're being heard. Like, and both and.
There you go. That's the name of segment, people.
Did you have anything else to add to that one?
I think that was it. Like, I just really wanted to stress that, it's a partnership. You have goals and you want to grow together. That requires you to be able to talk about conflict and be able to resolve it. To be able to do that, you have to be able to talk and not
with your words.
Right, like talk with each other, not at each other. And when you're talking at somebody, that's you getting your feelings off. And we all know that. I think if you're watching this and you've done that and you've been guilty of it, if you're in a calm, level-headed space at the moment, you can be self-reflective and honest with yourself and say, yeah, that was me, or yeah, that is me. And hopefully what we've just said and how we broke it down will help for you to make that first step in changing your approach, because you realize now that partnerships are what we're looking at, not rivals. That's not your enemy. You don't gotta tear his head off.
And I do want to remind our listeners and watchers to check out our communication and conflict part 1 and part 2 episodes in our healthy relationship series. That's when we really break down how to not use those 4 horsemen in conflict, how to communicate effectively. We really give some tools on how to grow in those areas. So definitely check those episodes out. All right, next question, final question.
All
right, is, do women admit that they're wrong?
Hell no. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. I apologize.
I'm gonna say no as well. It's not everybody, but as a majority, I'm gonna say no. Go ahead.
Fellas.
I want to hear your thoughts. You seem very enthusiastic about your answer.
All I do is look at the fellas. Need I say more? Fellas, y'all know what I'm talking. But for real, y'all have a hard time apologizing. It's true. Women, it's almost like it feels painful. I can feel like when they actually do it, it's like you feel it like as every word of them apologizing comes out, it's almost like a knife is coming out. I didn't know. I guess I can see where you coming from. I'm sorry. It'd be so hard. It's so difficult. But I think, honestly, if we being real, it's not just women, but it's people with egos and people who are just, having their guard up. And going back to what I think is the biggest takeaway that you should probably have, or at least one of them, is the idea of actual partnership and collaboration versus, a screaming or shouting match, or letting your ego take the driver's seat. That's not the place where the ego needs to be all the time. There's a place for the ego, but when it comes to relationships, it's often in the backseat.
And I do want to point out that in Fuckboy Philosophy, we were talking about the male ego and how that's a lot of it is tied to toxic masculinity. So it's interesting that we've been bringing up ego within our toxic femininity episode, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, and basically, and if you want a happy and healthy relationship, your ego has to die.
Sorry.
Within non-monogamy or polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, what have you, it really gotta die. Like, yeah. And yeah, like, it has to die because you have to hold yourself accountable. And that means taking a hard look at yourself, and you're not always perfect, you're not always right. You have flaws too. You got trauma that you know, respond from, fear that you respond from, expectations that you respond from. Like, you gotta look at your shit too in order to make that relationship grow stronger. You know? But that's also if you're committed to growth. And I think a lot of people aren't in general.
Unfortunately.
Like how you were all on the fuckboys, like, I know you don't want this, I know you want to grow.
Chicks on the side and doing things without it being ethically, you know, stated and those boundaries being laid out directly. I don't know if there are a lot of men out there that really want those relationships, because a lot of them are hollow and shallow, and you can't truly connect with those women in that way.
He obviously has never dated a fuckboy.
Am I, ladies, am I like totally, are y'all like, what is he talking about? That, you can't talk to these
like these
that.
men want to be better.
Well, that's what I said I would say to them.
Yeah, again, commitment to growth is not something that is
I
had
would say
by
it would
all,
work.
no matter the gender. Okay, like not everybody's committed.
All I can do is what I'm doing now. Put the information out there.
Yes. Just such high
Fuck
hopes.
boys of the world.
such high hopes for people. But I would also say, as a culture, with this happy wife, happy life mentality.
I used to subscribe to that shit too.
Exactly.
That's so crazy.
That normalizes the woman is never wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
like
so
it's
true.
like the man is always wrong. Get your shit, do whatever you need to do to get in her good graces, and then you'll have a happy life. Whereas I practice happy spouse, happy house, because you both have to be happy.
Nice.
Individually, because that's your own work, but you can't be harming or making your partner's life less pleasant, you know?
Yeah, you can't be fucking up there.
Exactly. You know, like that's,
You know?
add to their happiness, you know? And yeah, like if you're not mutually doing that for each other,
Why we here?
exactly. Like, yes, the man is gonna grow resentful if he's always having to sacrifice himself in
I'm
order to
trying
take
to
care of
tell
you, and
you.
you never even try to actually listen to what he needs, not assume that sex is all he needs.
I'm trying to tell you
And
that
even
resentment.
even if he has a high sex drive, he still has other needs. He still is a human, you know? Hold yourself accountable. It's okay. Hey, it's the Real Family. It's your girl Rocky.
And your boy Elsa.
And thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell.
Right, because subscribing and hitting that notification bell does two very important things. One, it gives you notification on our new content and make sure that you're up to date on everything that we put out every week.
Every
And,
week.
You know, every week.
Every week.
And then number two, it helps your boy and your girl out with some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it on.
It's so real, baby.
But in all seriousness, this is just like the video portion, the YouTube portion of our content. We are It's So Real
Podcast.
So we have all these episodes just waiting for y'all on how many platforms?
11 different streaming platforms.
11.
So it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, there's no excuses. We on everything. So whatever platform you're most comfortable listening to stuff, your content on, we're right there for you. So look us up. It's So Real Podcast.
And our link tree is available on our YouTube channel. Go over there, find the platform that works best for you, subscribe to our podcast, and hear the full thing, because we have a lot more to say than what shows up on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. With that being said, check out the rest of our videos while you're here.
You know? And be sure to subscribe.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And love.
Always.